Can you tell me who the Cappadocian fathers were and how Saint Macrina is part of that tradition?
Yeah, Saint Macrina is the great Cappadocian mother, and the two saints Gregory and Basil the Great and Chrysostom, all from the region of Cappadocia, are called the great Cappadocians, or the Cappadocian fathers. I dare say that Macrina had a very profound influence on what St. Gregory and St. Basil, and probably a bit of what Chrysostom, who was a friend of the family, on their ultimate teachings, and even through them had an input into the Ecumenical Council and perhaps even the final draft of the symbol of faith, the Nicene symbol of faith. St. Gregory of Nyssa, the brother of St. Macrina, when St. Macrina was dying, he knelt down beside her bed. He records for us, he said, "I knelt down beside the bed of the teacher to hear her last instructions." St. Basil, when he came back from studying in Athens, a bit of an arrogant little philosopher, and she sort of verbally slapped him around, brought his feet back to the ground, and made it possible in a way for him to actually make the contributions that he did. So I think we underestimate and don't venerate the great Cappadocian mother, Saint Macrina, nearly as much as we should. But the Cappadocians are really probably among the greatest philosophers and theologians in history. The understandings that they give us of not just Christ, but of the whole Old Testament revelation are very profound, and they are foundational in the Christian faith. The Divine Liturgy, for example, which was edited by both Chrysostom and Basil the Great, the theology in the liturgy is the theology of the Cappadocians. And so many questions are answered in the prayers of the liturgy. And in the liturgy itself, the knowledge that is imparted by the Divine Liturgy to those who pay attention to it is immeasurable. You can't even value it. It's beyond value. But these fathers all worked together. They were under the same inspiration. Gregory of Nyssa was more mystical. He's the final editor of the Nicene symbol of faith. St. Basil the Great, a little more concrete. And St. John Chrysostom was the great moral struggler. And I want to say that it wasn't about moralism. It was about actual morality. For example, he rebuked the crown prince, the Sebastocrator, for having a huge banquet and wasting food at the time when there was a great famine in the parts of Syria. And sometimes we forget that that's a moral issue. We forget that the wealthy wasting their wealth while people are starving is a moral issue. We tend to narrow morality down to some kind of a simplistic code and not realize the greater scope of morality in our interhuman relations. The Cappadocian fathers all discuss this to one degree or another. And each one has their own area of special revelation, and yet they all interacted and worked together with each other. And the interesting thing is, of course, they spoke closer to the ordinary Greek language spoken in that area was very close to the Greek of Apostle Paul, who wasn't the Greek classicalist, but spoke Koine Greek, which was the Greek of Cappadocia, Anatolia. And the Cappadocian fathers were very familiar with that, and the imagery, the metaphor, the things that Paul wrote which were locally cultural or shaped by local culture were all quite comprehensible to them. So their witness is quite valuable. And the shaping of the liturgy is extremely important. It's what gives the unity of faith to the Orthodox Church. But